Firestorm is just about a month away, and we got some cards early through the Shattered Stars Aries Month last month, releasing to us the champions of Hephaestus, Volcaries, and Rumacol. Now, the Fire Artifact or Fart deck... The Fire Artifact or FARTIFACTS deck is a very, very fun deck that I've enjoyed kind of labbing out and testing in preparation for Firestorm. It's probably one of my favorite decks that I've played in Elestrals to date, and so I really wanted to try and see what we could do to make this deck playable with just these Shattered Stars cards. The things that we're missing from the upcoming set are Torch of Hestia and Reforge. Those are the only cards we're missing, but they also are some of the strongest ones, since Torch of Hestia is a 1-cost Fire Artifact and Reforge is a 1-cost Ambrosia replacement, essentially. So it's a difficult task to try and make this playable in the non-Firestorm metagame, but I have for you a deck that has performed quite well for me in testing in locals. It's felt insane. The only game period that I've lost is when a Salashade player just obliterated me, high-rolled every single card. There's nothing I could do. They had to Rise from the Ashes for when I Earthquaked. You know, it's one of those where it is what it is. Otherwise, this deck has felt unbeatable. It has felt just absolutely insane, and so I want to show you what we have for this deck. And of course, we start off with the man himself, Hephaestus' Volcaries. This card is a 4/2 1-cost Fire Elestral. When you cast this Volcaries, you can search your deck for Hephaestus and add it to your hand. While Hephaestus is enchanted, you may also use fire from your Underworld for artifact runes. Now, what makes it so good is not only is it a 4/2 Divine Searcher, it's an Elechic, basically. It also has the ability to be a healing card. Now, if you're familiar with my recent competitive performance, I've been playing heal a lot and been doing quite well in competitive tournaments. Not in the Dallas main event, but I was able to win a sheet at Dallas and then also have a top 4 premier with heal. And the reason I like this deck so much is that Volcaries kind of makes fire feel like a much more aggressive heal deck. Because of the artifact rune enchantment from Underworld stuff, not only are you getting advantage because you're playing an artifact that is allowing you to put pressure on your opponent, you're also healing those spirits, meaning if you play something like a Necklace of Harmonia, put it on a Volcaries, you play it out for free, you can then later Gorgons off of it, Argo off of it, Shield, Ambro, any of these cards, play off of it, and you've essentially just not spent the same amount of spirits that you would be normally. And so I find this card absolutely incredible. And it gets even better, I think, once we have access to Reforge and access to the Torch of Hestia. But before we get there, we are playing Rumacol. This is something I don't think you need as much of in the Firestorm metagame because we have Reforge as our way to recycle artifacts from Underworld. But currently, we don't have that, and so I like Rumacol as a way to, when you cast it, return an artifact from your Underworld to your hand. It gets +1 for each enchanted artifact rune on the field. So this, you just need ways to recycle artifacts. There's many cases where I just threw that. Wow, that did a backflip. There are many cases where I'll just cast a Rumacol, add back a Scythe, or a Poison Tunic, or even a Necklace of Harmonia, and just now it itself threatens a lot of damage. It's expensive, but it lets this card get to very high attack stats very easily. And then if you're able to keep your Volcaries around, this also just lets you generate insane advantage. So I like playing 2 of it in the Shattered Stars version of the deck. For our other Fire Elestrals, we're playing triple Necrof, we're playing 2 Kindleo, and then of course the one of Lavalith. Lavalith, very good card, I don't think I need to explain that too much. Kindleo, I'm playing it 2 because a lot of the times if I'm playing, just generally if I'm playing a fire deck with 3, I find that I'm drawing it in really inopportune moments. I don't have Nexus Banks a lot of the time to get it to work. I just would rather, it's a sometimes not all the time type of card. I certainly do not want to ever see 3 Kindleo. So I've been liking a lot at 2, and then Necrof is just insane at putting up pressure, insane at putting up damage, whether it's burning for a spirit every single turn against heal, or it's playing well through Tsunami into other decks. It's such a good card. For our non-Fire Elestrals, we're playing a 1 of Smoltuga to search out that Volcaries, or a Kindleo, or a Necrof. Very flexible, but it's slow, which is why I don't want to be playing more of it. And then we're playing 3 Eddy. Eddy just allows this deck to have a bit of an easier time with 5 defense Elestrals, which you're very easy to get up to higher stat totals, but swinging to a defense 6 is just a risky thing. So being able to use an Eddy in that case instead is really nice. And also Eddy still is a great target for Argo onto Scythe of Demeter. So Eddy feels phenomenal in this deck, and then of course 3 Astrabbit. It's one of the best cards in the game, so why wouldn't I be playing it? For our artifact stuff, we are playing 2 Hephaestus. Now, a lot of people that I've spoken with or that have been labbing this deck have gone between 1 and 2 of this. If you're playing Volcaries as just like an engine, essentially, to make your Argos feel better, I guess you can play it at 1. But generally, I find myself in a lot of instances where I'm using my Hephaestus and then I want a second one. It also is just nice to have another target to search off of Volcaries, and I don't mind drawing it a lot of the time either, because it is just a way to get to a pretty solid way of dealing with an opponent's Elestral. There's lots of times, even before I was playing this on just like heal, where, you know, putting a Scythe on Demeter is equivalent to an Earthquake when you put it on one of your Elestrals and you just out something, and, you know, it costs 2 Earth, but you out an opponent's Elestral, and you know, you lose to cards like Poison Tipped Arrow already on that Elestral, or a Shield of Achilles. But in game states where your opponent doesn't have the exact out, a lot of the times these artifact runes do really feel just like another removal card, and so I don't really mind playing multiple. I'm usually searching off of Hephaestus pretty consistently. Until we have Torch of Hestia, there's no turn 1 Volcaries into Hephaestus, search Torch of Hestia, play it turn 1. That is something you can do in Firestorm that gets your Volcaries to a 6/2. That also foretells 3 on attack, which is really nice. But until then, you know, this is just a way to set up that Fire and Underworld for later turn plays. And I find myself wanting a second one very, very frequently. We're obviously playing 3 Argo, it's an artifact deck. We're playing 2 Necklace of Harmonia, a Poison Tunic, and a Scythe of Demeter. Now, I've kind of already mentioned Scythe of Demeter is just very, very good. This is probably one of the best artifacts in the deck. It's a heal card. It's a +2/+3, which is just insane. Poison Tunic has actually been massively overperforming for me. Even with Rumacol, it makes a Rumacol a 6 that goes Spirit neutral to out on a Elestral, because your opponent burns 2, you spend 2 on this. If you have a Volcaries and you play this, it's Spirit positive, actually, because you pay it for free and then your opponent burns 2. And the Necklace of Harmonia is just incredible, and very frequently I wanted to have a second, so I'm playing 4 total. Now, for the rest of the runes in the deck, we're playing Triple Ambrosia. This is something that honestly I'm considering cutting for Reforge once Firestorm releases, because Reforge is functionally Ambrosia, but generates more card advantage, and sometimes actually generates more spirit advantage for you. It might be a 2/2 situation, I don't really know, but I actually don't know if Ambrosia feels as necessary in this deck, because you do just get to heal a lot. For context, my locals has 2 of the best heal players in the metagame between myself and Julian, and then a handful of other people that have been learning it within our testing group. So most of my locals is heal players. In playing versus them, I have ended games where I am at 10 to their 0 spirits, just because this deck heals so much and also puts up so much pressure at the same time. So honestly, Ambrosia may not feel as necessary for me, but that's a sort of see how it pans out type of thing. Gotta test around with it a little bit more. And then for our other invokes, we're playing the Resting and the Earthquake. Resting can feel bad frequently because of the artifacts, but also at the same time, a lot of the time when you're playing your artifacts, you're getting them off board soon because you want to use those free spirits as advantage from the Volcaries effect, as opposed to letting them sit around. So it sometimes feels bad, but a lot of the time you're like, yeah, this is live. If my opponent ever outs my Volcaries, I just resting and then replay my board. So it's actually not too bad. For the rest of our counter runes, we're playing 2 Tsunami, 3 Shield, and 3 Gorgon's Gaze. The main game plan here is we want to protect our Elestrals to be able to Argo them, to be able to, you know, Volcaries for free spirits, and then Gorgons is, you know, the best counter in the game. This list has felt phenomenal for me thus far, and the spirit deck for it is, this is 9 Fire, and then we're on 4 Earth, 4 Water, and then 3 Thunder. It's very nice to be playing such a simple spirit deck for once instead of a, you know, 8-color spirit deck. And for the side deck, this is something that's in progress, and you'll see I actually I don't have 3 Spoiled Fruits in this deck. I have them in other decks, but I'm currently working on it, but this is just kind of where I am at ideally. Triple Eruption, this is something that I consider main decking. Being able to play an artifact for free and then burn your opponent for 3 is ridiculous, and so this is something that I am heavily considering. Before Shattered Stars actually came out, something that I've been playing around with a lot is a Solar Fire burn deck If you're familiar, Swolax actually did very well at a Poison Nectar Monthly playing Fire, Solar, Burn. But my version of it takes a different direction. He was playing Draco Ray. I am playing Cyphermal, playing Golden Fleece from deck with 2 fires from Underworld, and then playing an Eruption. That deck has felt really, really good. This is just a better version of that deck, in my opinion, because you aren't misenchanting Golden Fleece. You're just playing good artifacts. And so Eruption, I think, is something that's worth considering in the main deck. It's a space thing, though. If I could fit more, if I could play 45, I'd play 3 Eruption. For our other different element Invoke Runes, we're playing the 3 Cryoblast. I imagine that this will be... this is not only good now, I imagine it'll be very good into Firestorm, as a result of the Leica Void Werepup stuff that people are freaking out about. 2 Altar of Stars is a card that could swap back and forth between main. Altar is something that hypothetically is very good, especially if we ended up playing Ash Rabbit, which is a consideration for the deck. But I just don't really like Altar. After Spark It got banned, this card just hasn't felt that good, because nothing feels as good as Altar of Stars to an Ash Rabbit. And so not being able to generate that kind of good advantage, I just don't know if I like this card that much. Triple PTA, you play this if you get to go first. You can side out of some of the cards in the deck. And then 3 Spoiled Fruit. This is because I am hate siding for my locals, which is mostly heal players. I also don't know if this is even worth siding generally, because I think that this deck just plays really well into heal anyway. Between the Necruff, between your own healing, I don't think you need this. I don't know what I'd swap it out for, but it certainly means that there's a lot more space in the side, because like 5 of these cards I don't think you need to play. But that is the deck. I think that this deck is really, really cool. I've really enjoyed playing it. I think that it is a very, very solid deck. And let me know what you think. Comment down below, are you playing this deck? What decks are you looking forward to playing in Firestorm? I know that I'm looking at the Arachne's Lair deck. That seems really cool as well. Yeah, I don't actually know if there's going to be gameplay after this. That's something that I'm deciding in 3, 2, 1. And here we are. We actually do have gameplay. It's me versus my good friend here, Distant Coder at the Elestronauts. And we're just starting off quick here. It may have taken a couple of games to get a hand that was playable from either of us, but we start off with the Volcaries, searching Hephaestus, and then passing it back after setting 2. Kevin's going to go ahead and play a Rummagem. We Gorgons that immediately. We've got this Hephaestus in hand, meaning the Volcaries is now live to make any artifact rune that we play free. And we just have a Necruff for the crack back here. Playing into 1 back row, this feels really, really solid. Hephaestus goes down with 2 spirits. We can disenchant to go ahead and search an artifact rune out of the deck. We like doing that because it deck thins. We can get the Scythe of Demeter out, which will be very good with either this Volcaries or the Necruff. And then the Poison Tunic is going to hit using spirits from Underworld on the Rummagem. Rummagem 0 attack, burning for 2. Necruff hitting, Water Enchanted means that we don't lose the Tsunami here, which is pretty important. And we burn for 2 and then swing for 1 with the Volcaries, meaning Kevin's now here at 16 for an Underworld. The Demeter is going to come down here, though, with 3 spirits under it. He knows that there's no way I'm removing it. And the Werepup, which is horrifying until I find out that, oh, he's failed a finding. Oh, that's my favorite streamer failing to find. So the full moon is in hand. It may actually be set on the field, I realize. And so he goes ahead and he buffs up this Werepup. He swings. And I've got 1 back row. I know that I'm using it here. It's a Tsunami, and Tsunami feels kind of bad to use here because if that set is full moon, he just gets to then use it to then redeclare, and that's exactly what he's going to do. So he's going to go into that. He's going to send so that it's properly enchanted, and then he'll be able to put a Water or a Frost underneath it to make sure that he plays around potential Tsunami. He knows I'm on Tsunami, so he's going to put a Water under it. He's not worried about Cryoblast. And he's going to swing over the Volcaries for 2 damage since it does have Piercing. And that's going to hurt. That's going to be a little owie here. Volcaries down, which sucks because, we like to have Volcaries run as much as possible. But the rest of the hand is just fine here. We're going to go ahead and re-enchant onto the Necruff because we've got that Scythe of Demeter in hand that we just searched out. And because Kevin has a Demeter on his board, we're actually going to be able to heal 2 here. So I don't really mind investing the amount of speed. So we're investing here. We're re-enchanting to the Necruff to burn him for 1 as well. It might have been worth an expended draw, honestly. But in this case, I was just hoping that the 6 attack or the 7 attack here would be enough. But in this case, Demeter, any normal summon does it. He doesn't have a lot of cards in hand, though. Set 1 card in hand, I believe. And this Necruff's going to go down. Kind of sucks because we kind of went very negative on card advantage. It probably would have been better to just expend a draw, but the Astrobot hits the board regardless, and we're just going to get to look at the top 3 here. There was a Necklace of Harmonia in there, so we're absolutely shuffling that back. We do not want that card right now, but we're just passing from there, and Kevin is able to use this moment to run out this Eddy, hit over the Astrobot, set the last card in hand, punch me for 1. He is only on 6 spirits, though, and I'm on, like, 8, I think, so I'm not feeling too bad. The ability to play from the underworld has been very beneficial here. We're going to go for the resting on your laurels, getting rid of Hephaestus, knowing that the only way Hephaestus is going to be beneficial for us is if we were able to see a Volcaries anyway, but Kinleo going to hit the board here. And Kinleo, with that Necklace of Harmonia, I lied! We didn't shuffle out the necklace, we had Kinleo in hand! This was our bank to be able to then go ahead and pressure 3 damage here, and these 2 back row have to be live, and he's going to Altar of Stars here, which we feel phenomenal doing. He's going to have to kill off his own Eddy to prevent this amount of damage that's coming through. The card in hand is not very great here. He's going to Nexus from Eddy to the Demeter, swap the Kinleo to defense. Eddy gets popped anyway. The card in hand is an Ambrosia, which is like, not bad, obviously. This is going to put us up to 8 spirits in Spirit deck, but we're kind of in a pinch here. 8 to Kevin's 5. We've got Kinleo on board, but any normal summon from him here does it, and that's going to be an L-Chick, which is just really killer. You can see I've already picked up the Kinleo knowing it's going to die. Kevin's going to go ahead and search out that Demeter, but Kinleo dies here. We're losing those spirits to the underworld. We're in very dire top deck mode, both of us. And he's got Elechick, but we've got the Necruff off the top, baby. Let's go. The Necruff going to swing in, burn for 1, Shield of Achilles off of the Demeter, that Eddy spirit that ended up under the Demeter. That's going to put Kevin down to just 3 or 4 here. And he's going to expend a draw. So he's at 2 now. And those last 2 are going on the Scythe of Demeter onto the Elechick. He's going to punch for 1. This is a really good spot for him because he knows that Necruff's the only card in hand. It's going to be really hard for me to out the Elechick, especially since this Necruff's a 5 to the 6. But Rummikole is going to hit the board, allowing us to look in our underworld and show Kevin, yeah, we've got Necklace, we've got Scythe of Demeter, and we've got the Poison Tunic. Poison Tunic would let us hit over this Elechick, crash with it, killing him. But in this case, he's going to Gorgons, so we don't get the effect off. He top decks Ambrosia, and I'm pointing at him saying, you sacker! It's okay, I sacked him too as well. He's going to heal back the water and 2 earth, and then he just gets to hit over this Rummikole. It's not long for this world, but Rummikole put in work here, eating out the Gorgon's Gaze. He's expending draw, putting himself to 2, setting a back row, and passing over to us. We have the Necruff in hand, which he knows about. I'm running it out. It's got the water under it to play with Tsunami. I set a face down swing, and he has nothing for it. There's not a lot that's going to do it here for him, but an Eddy is pretty killer. Swap the Necruff to defense, and he swings in, and we got the very forcefully played Shield of Achilles, and he shakes his hands in disgust. How could you do this to me, Caleb? I think this was a really good showcase of this deck. It was very back and forth. Thanks for watching, everyone. I don't know anything else after this. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. See you later. Bye-bye. Make sure you use our affiliate code to pre-order Firestorm. It comes out very soon. Thank you for supporting us. Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye now. Thanks. Like, comment, subscribe. Bye-bye.